So trying to get a threader for a previous project, I went to Walmart and I found these. I've been looking for orange worms. They didn't have orange worms, but they had this. DOA is known in this area as being a premier bait company for saltwater fish. And so a lot of people around the United States, they use goldfish. In the state of Florida, it's illegal for us to use goldfish. But if you're fishing for bass or anything of that nature, goldfish, you know that they love them. In saltwater, this right here is redfish candy. So what I thought I'd do is I'm going to show you a unique way of doing it that you probably are. If you've ever seen fuzzy dice, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to make this like a fuzzy dice and just show you how you can rig a paddletail grub. Now the paddletails, if you go with a smaller one, this would be great for something like crappie or anything of that nature. So just realize, even though I'm using something made for a redfish, or you could use it for bass or whatever, especially here in Florida, go a little size smaller, you got crappie bait. And it's a neat trick. It's something to give them a little something different they've never seen before probably, and entice a bite. Alright, this is what DOA calls their CAL series shad. Alright, and so this one's a, I'd say it's about 2 inches or so. Perfect little bait, wonderful little bait. Don't have much wiggle room on the tail, but DOA, they know what they're doing. I've used them in the past. They're a great lure. What I've got right here is I went to Temu because nobody sells skirts in my area. I got some skirts, and then this right here is some more skirt material, but you have to peel it off. So that's already cut, and you just cut the edges. This one right here, you've got to peel it off and cut it. The deal is you got roughly the same amount of skirting material with this as you do with this long piece, because this is twice as long, and when they cut it like this, it makes it look wider than what it really is. So just realize that you don't need as many strands of this as you will of the purple, but you need 2 different colors. I'm using orange chartreuse, which is kind of a green color, and then this purple and black. The reason for that is it's October, and these are October colors, and part of the reason for that, if you like comic books and you understand illustration theory for comic books, the villains always have secondary colors, which is orange, green, and purple, whereas the heroes always have red, blue, and yellow. And if you're saying, but wait a minute, the Incredible Hulk is green and purple, you're right. And the reason for that is because he is technically a villain, or was seen as a villain when he was created, based off of the werewolf archetype. And there's going to be some people who say, no, he's based off of Jekyll and Hyde. And Jekyll and Hyde is actually a werewolf archetype. So I've got a video when I first started the channel where I talk about archetypes and allegory because I'm an author. And so you can watch that. I'll link it in the description. But let's get started on this. To make my life a little easier, I'm going to use these tsunami jig heads here. They're a 1/4 ounce jig head. And I want to figure out where I'm going to go with this. So I want the jig head to be coming out roughly about right here. So what you do, when you measure it, you say, okay, it's going to come out right about there. Then you measure with your thumb, hold your thumb, come up, try to go center. So you want to go right there in that center spot right there. Carefully. Try to keep it as even as possible. Remember where your thumb is. You're marking it with your thumb. It's coming out right there. Just go slow. Make sure the hook is right about center. It's a little off, but it's fine. Now, that got a little off from center. You can come back if you need to. I want to because I want it to run true. I'll go right there. There we go. Caught myself. Sharp hook. There we go. Now we need to figure out how many strips we want to do. I want to do 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to do 4 strips, or four sections. So I need to have 16 of each color. Okay, with the chartreuse, like I said, I've got 4 strands of these. I'm going to cut them in half, and then fold them in half again and cut them. And about 2 inches tends to be where I like to be at. Don't have to be specific. This is a little bit more than 8, but I'm going to go ahead and cut them. So all I'm going to do is cut this little, right here, this little strip, cut them free, and then from there, take that out of the way, and cut this right here. Now I got a bundle of stuff to work with, which is awesome. This right here, what I did is I went to Walmart. You can find these. This is the brand Dritz, D-R-I-T-Z. They sell these stringers for skirts. I think they're like $10, something like that. Or you can get 3 for $3 at Walmart. So I got these. They work just fine. So what I do is I'm going to start right here and just barely go through the top. I'm just kind of skin hooking this. Not much of nothing. That's the reason why I wanted to go ahead and have the jig on this one. Jig head on here so that I could do this part. And then go about 1/3 of the way through the little stringer thing, your threader. And just very easily tug. Once it's through, you can use your hands to finish pulling. It's going to be a tight fit because it's around that jig head. If you didn't have jig head on there, it'd be a little easier, but then there's a chance you might be damaging your threads. So I wanted to do the jig head first. Now I'm going to come right here, and I'm going to come right in front of this hook and skin, go right through the very top, just not even a millimeter from the top. Very minute amount. Run this through. Again, about 1/3, maybe a little less. Right through. Of course, this is a lot easier because not around that head. There's more open flesh of the body. Do that right there. Go behind the hook. And right there. Here we're running into less flesh, so we got to remember that on your soft plastic body. Run that in. Run that through. And if you didn't have these skirt materials, you could use the women's hair bands. I'm going to go right here. Now this is where the tail starts to narrow, so I'm just going to go a little bit shy of where it gets really narrow because I don't want to impede too much the action. Put this through. Again, like 1/3, something like that. Ah, crud. Don't want to damage anything. But you could use hair bands, you could use children's elastic bands or colored little bitty ones that are for craft projects, and any of that would work. So there you go there. Now on the bottom, what we're going to do is we got purple here, so we'll put chartreuse where the chartreuse is, be purple, and then we're doing it on this bottom side here, the belly side. Alright? And you know it's the belly side because when you look at the paddle tail, that paddle is shaped to go down like that, and it goes back and forth. So this right here, this is the belly. So again, we're going to start right here because this is the one that is the narrowest, and I need to be the most particular right here. Go a little bit off to the side, but not too much off to the side. Some of the skirt material will stick more than others. This chartreuse one is real elastic and sticky. The purple slides through a little bit better. It's two different materials, so just realize that purple will slide through real easy for some reason, but the chartreuse don't like to. Now I'm going to go purple here. Again, just going through the skin. Not much, not much. A little bit too far with that. There we go. Okay, now we've done this side. See how it's going that way? Now we want to come down. So we're going to flip this over and we're going to go between these two. Alright, so I'm going to go right here. Again, skin hooking this as best I can. Actually, I'm going to go right there. And you can just pick whatever color you want to start off with. Just remember that you go in opposite of each other. So, and you don't have to do that. I just like doing that. It's your lure, you can do it any way you want to. That's the beauty of modifying a lure. You can make it any way you want it. As long as you're the one fishing it, no one really has a right to gripe about it. Now, there's people I know of, you probably know them too if you watch my channel, that they gripe about anything. But guess what? If they ain't fishing with it, I really don't care. I'm going to fish what I want to fish with. I usually catch pretty good fish when they're biting. Okay, there's that. Right there. So that's one side. Now we'll flip it over and do the other side. We'll go a little bit deeper than that. Went a little bit too shallow. You can do that. It's hard, but you can. I actually used less than I thought I'd need, just because this right here is just such a small bait. But this is the spooky shad. Just a neat little bait based off of fuzzy dice. A little something extra. A little something to be grabbing attention. Tell me what you think. I will see you again next time. Bye.